So I've had people ask what's probably not an unexpected question. Why do I have possums in my autism videos? So I really like possums. I think they're very cool, and I use them a lot in my quote unquote artwork, which is basically stick figures with dresses on. I do a lot of stuff with angels. But we had a possum in our house one time. I've had a few of them actually, but this one time in particular was very memorable. And so I started adding possums to different things. And it started becoming something that represented me and especially my autism. I got a sticker recently that has a picture of a possum playing dead, because they play dead when they're scared. And it says, I play dead to avoid people. And it's like, yeah, that's me completely. So I use possums to represent my autism. So when you see a picture of me doing something with the possum, it's me trying to work with my autism or trying to become friends with my autism or having it bother me or whatever, but messing with my head or something. So that's what that's all about.
So here's the story of the possum that came into my house and how this whole possum thing started. So anyway, I want to start out my weekly update with a possum's tale. We had a little adventure at our house, and let me introduce the main characters to you. There's Penny, who is my dog, and then Benny and Shiloh, who are Kathleen's dogs. And Benny's going to look calm. I mean, not Benny. Penny's going to look calm in these pictures, but she actually was the main wild one. Anyway, so I got up one morning and the dogs went absolutely berserk in the kitchen. And they were obviously after something, and there was obviously a critter in our house. And we had no clue what it was. We live in the South, we live in a rural area. So this happens sometimes. I have had two possums in my house. I've had a snake, a little tiny snake in my house. I think that's about it. A long time ago, I had a mouse that the cats played with for hours. And then of course bugs and all that kind of stuff. But the main things, possums. We have tons and tons of possums, and possums are really good because they eat ticks. And I had Lyme for I don't know, like 14 years or so. So I appreciate any critter that will eat ticks. So anyway, so we didn't know what was in the house. We didn't know if it was a mouse or what. And we did all kinds of things trying to keep the dogs away from that. We had them, we went into the back of the house and kept them in the back of the house because they seemed to think that it was in the kitchen. Penny tore up a an outlet, or whatever you call it, the register for the heater, because but we had the air conditioner on. Apparently whatever it was in the air conditioning ducts, and so it was just crazy, and they were barking and digging at the floor and everything. So we had them in the back of the house, and they were still just howling and going crazy. So the next day we woke up and I went out. Penny wasn't awake yet. I think she'd worn herself out the day before, and Kathleen and the other dogs weren't up yet. And so I went out to have my devotions in the kitchen, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, this possum just meanders by like it's nobody's business. And I have mobility problems, so I'm not fast getting up onto my feet. And by the time that I got up, he had disappeared and I didn't know where he was. And he wasn't a huge one. I think he was like an adolescent. He wasn't a baby either. And so he had gotten away. I didn't know where he was. I looked, I didn't see him like down in the air conditioning vent where the dogs had been trying to get him the day before. And so I opened up the cupboard under the sink, and sure enough, there he was balancing on a spray bottle. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I went to go get a broom. By the time that I came back with a broom, he was gone, because I thought maybe I could shoo him out the door or something, because I didn't want him to die. They're good things and stuff. So anyway, so what we ended up doing was we left the cupboard doors open so he could get out easily. We blocked off the kitchen from the rest of the house so he wouldn't wander into some other part of the house. And we left the door from the kitchen to the backyard open, hoping that he would make his way out there. And then we all just holed up back in Kathleen's room. The dogs, of course, were having fits because they knew that something was out there. Well, it finally occurred to us possums are nocturnal animals. He's probably taking a nap someplace, not making his way out to his home. So we tried all kinds of things and we didn't see him any place. So we just like blocked the cupboards closed and figured he'd be safe and stuff. Well, the dogs did get a hold of him at one point, and Kathleen rescued him and put him outside, and she thought he was still alive and everything and stuff. So we thought, okay, that's good. He's okay. But later that afternoon, we found him in a different part of the yard. Apparently he had been alive and had been making his way back to his home, but he died. And he wasn't just playing possum. He was definitely dead. So we lost that guy. So anyway, so that was like our really, really big adventure. And so I have this little picture that I drew of a bunch of possums making possum pie. And before you get too alarmed that we're eating possums, read the recipe for possum pie there in the picture and you'll see it's okay. It's actually a really yummy little thing that you would probably enjoy. Share the love. All right. I love you all. Bye-bye.